I'm currently working on a larger video recapping my adventures in Mallorca, but for now I wanted to highlight the first place that really left an impression on me in this island, Cala Mitjana. Since this was a big journey for me in many ways, meeting Magnus, climbing with Chris Sharma, and so many awesome people and locations, I had to start somewhere. And at first it was overwhelming trying to pick a spot in the beginning to stay at, but ultimately I just jumped in and chose a southeastern town called Felanitx. The reason why I chose it is because it's close to Cala Mitjana. I found out that from Felanitx it was about a 35 to 40 minute walk through a beautiful countryside to get there. And in hindsight, the best way to get there is to get a car, park at Cala Mitjana, and walk south till you see that landmark ship mast, and right under there is a little descent into the cave. After warming up on this easier climb to the right called Geek, we jumped on this amazing short and bouldery line called Rich Bitch, which goes at 7A, 511D. I told myself that I'd get a handle on the French grading system while on this trip, and by the end of it, I definitely became more familiar with it. This was my second time on this line here, and I wanted to try and refine the beta a bit. I heard people were using this sinker left-hand side pull, which was a little reachy, but once I hit it, it was so good and it allowed me to do this right drop knee and kind of flow through the route. So if I were to climb this one again, this is the beta I would use. Now this is not peak tourism season, but it's still a good window to go climbing. Little did I know I'd run into about 15 other climbers that day that were just psyched to climb at this place. And I met people from all over the world, from the US, all around the UK, France, Italy. It was just so cool to see so many different people that just shared a passion of climbing here. The thing I found out about deep water solo climbing is that if you have your mental game under control, you can really show up to a cove with little gear, ultimately shoes and a chalk bag. I'll go more into what gear I had used for the peace of mind to just make it kind of streamlined, but really just with that, you can meet other climbers, right? Deep water solo climbing is really unique because to me it's a mixture of lead climbing and bouldering. You just are with other people, talking, sharing the beta with each other. Sometimes that involves being able to share the beta with somebody else. Maybe they're on a ledge above you. It's not like in sport climbing where you require more of a startup. It's not even like bouldering where you need a spotter. It's just really free, and it is a mental challenge. I just really loved it. I think it's like my favorite climbing discipline that I've tried so far. So a lot of times outside I love just looking for really beautiful lines, and I take in the whole scene, just the whole environment. I just get really psyched about climbing it. And in deep water solo climbing, the environment, the atmosphere, the people around you, it was just an incredible feeling, especially like the overhanging routes, climbing into the sunlight with the a roaring sea below you, especially when I was like in Cove del Diablo, which I'll post later. But I was climbing that thing, and then the sea was quite strong underneath me, and sometimes the sea was too strong and I couldn't climb that day. Like just the whole environment factoring in, and like all the elements acting on you and everything, it just reminded me of kind of painting outside, and I just fell in love with it. So this is a climb called Balsa Boys. It's a 7A plus, which is a 512A, and there was a strong climber from France. He's down below sitting on a ledge with his family, and I saw him climb this, and he was the one that unlocked the roof section beta for me. He was telling me the beta for it. It was just like a really cool experience. I would definitely recommend somebody to come here on their first time deep water soloing, climbing out of a cave into the sunlight as you're going to the top out with turquoise water below you and sailboats around you in the cove. It's just like, it's just a real incredible feeling. Nice. And I just get really psyched and excited about deep water solo climbing here.